Yes.
I have a couple general questions, and yes, you can take it.
Can you tell us who you are?
I'm a guardian for my older brother.
Thank you.
One of the things you said in your flyer for this meeting was waiting until services are actually cut will be too late. So we need to take a proactive approach in advocating for our guardians or for our wards. So what can we do in that respect? We lay out the plan of we don't want our...
Well, here's the first step. It's easy. The first step is easy. Ask your residential provider and any other providers of services, are my person's rates being cut right now? And let's say the provider says, yeah, they're being cut, but they're being cut by $1.50 a day. We're going to live with that. It's not great, but okay, right. Then your person's in the clear, it looks like, for 2012.
And that's the position I'm in. It looks like he's
Yeah.
in the clear, but do I still need to get in writing? We don't want this to change. Everything's working out well.
I think you just need to make sure that when there's a care team meeting for your person, you're there, you're involved, you're on the phone, whatever.
Okay.
And again, what is it about the activities your person has or the places they go are important in meeting their outcomes? Everybody wants to be speaking that language year-round, even when there's not a dispute happening. But those of you who've heard, you've either heard about it already or you ask the provider and the provider says, we are in a knockdown, drag-out fight with CHP right now over your loved one's rate, you probably need to do something.
Okay, so right now I don't need to rock the boat because it looks like we're okay. If something changes in the next year and they propose things that make activity changes that we've tried and have failed in the past, is it necessary to recount those failures in any correspondence to them? We've tried integrating into the community using this technique. Anything that has failed in the past, is that valuable information when they're reassessing?
Well, I think you're asking a more fundamental question, and that is, what kind of track record do you want there to be? And so, it's just great for you to make up a little memo or just even bullet points and say, I want to make sure we cover all these at our next meeting. These are some concerns. And I don't know that you want to do that every time, but periodically I think it's important to go back and do that because it's just, it's unfortunate. If he and I are taking notes of the same meeting, you'll wonder sometimes if it is the same meeting. And so what I might think is important is different from what he might think is important. And it's just so unfortunate when I've gotten the notes of care meetings and I take that to the guardian and they say, get out of here. That all of this stuff that I said that I thought was really important never got taken down.
So making sure that your outcomes are documented. You have every right to see that care plan where they're documented. The providers have every right to see that care plan too, and that's been an issue here in this area of the state, where a provider is expected to work on the outcomes, but if they don't have a copy of the care plan where the outcomes are listed, how can they do that? So make sure that they're documented, make sure that if you get a copy of it, if the managed care organization is not sharing it with the providers, you can share it with the providers. And that resource allocation decision-making process, the things that you mentioned are not working, that's where that discussion takes place. We're talking about cost-effective methods and ways of getting to the outcomes. If you've tried a bunch of stuff and it's failed, it doesn't mean that you can't try something else. But a lot of the ideas that might be coming your way from the 23-year-old social worker may be fresh off her mind because she's heard this is what we should do. You've been through that already, so it's a good idea to have that conversation there. Yes,
and I'm going to say one more thing because it's so important to say, and that is, not everything that happens at care team meetings is bad. There's a lot of good stuff happening. There's good stuff that's happened in family care. I have people who've waited forever because of waiting lists in other parts of the state. Now that their family care systems are up and working reasonably well, a lot of people are saying this is a good thing. So, when a suggestion is made, you don't right away say, oh, that's stupid, let's not change anything. Be gracious, be open-minded, try some new ideas out, fabulous. But then make your point, explain why it is you think it's a good idea or not a good idea.